You're welcome. Thank you. Get a little band.
From CCTV, the local television station right down the street. We're trying to get unique local coverage. What's your name?
My name's Kevin.
Okay, Kevin, tell me about what's going on here.
Here we have, we're about to kick off gay marriage here in Massachusetts. They're going to start issuing licenses at midnight if they haven't already. And I'm just here to support. I'm a student at Harvard.
Do you know anyone personally who's applying for a license?
I don't. Just here to support.
How long have you been waiting out here?
About an hour.
And what has it been like since you got here?
It's been amazing. There's a procession that's going over there, and there's people lined up on both sides, and they're just cheering everyone on. They're walking up to City Hall.
What's the most outlandish thing you've seen so far?
Those are pretty heinous things over there. Some of the things that they have to say on that side. But they're the ones that are unhappy. Everyone's happy over here. So. Yeah.
My God, it's the changing.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Hi, what's your name?
I am Reverend Tiffany Steinwert, and I'm from Cambridge Welcoming Ministries, which is a United Methodist congregation.
Hi, I'm Josh Airwood. I'm her spouse, and just here to celebrate tonight with everyone.
So you're both Cambridge residents?
Well, actually, I pastor in Cambridge, but I live in Winthrop.
Same.
So could you tell me, are there a lot of other people with you that have the same viewpoint?
Actually, there are a lot of us. Our church came, over a third of my congregation came to support same-sex unions tonight. They're all back against the rail. You can see them. We're here to support same-sex marriage. As United Methodists, we believe in the full civil rights of all persons, homosexual no less than heterosexual. So we're here to witness to Christian love, that God loves everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we're just here to be a voice of peace against the anger and hate you see over there, and to celebrate with those couples who are applying for their licenses tonight.
Have you gotten harassed by any of the other people?
No, we haven't.
The police have done a good job so far of keeping everything peaceful.
Are there any homosexual members of your congregation?
Yes, most of my congregation is gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. We call ourselves the Queer Church in Central Square, and we meet on Sundays at 5 o'clock. It's called Cambridge Welcoming Ministries. It was started by the United Methodist Church as a mission to gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender persons who've been excluded and hurt by the church so often that now there's a place for them to come where the majority of people there are queer. It's wonderful. It's a great place.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic community where, everyone reaches out to everyone, and just a real sense of family there.
And what street is your church on?
We're at 56 Magazine Street in Central Square, and we meet at 5 o'clock on Sundays.
And how old are the people that go to your church?
Average age is under 35. Most people are in between the ages of 18 and 35.
Do you know anybody from your church who's actually going to apply for a license?
No, none of my parishioners want to get married. They're young. Most of my parishioners are just out of grad school. They're partnered, but they're not ready to make that commitment yet. But when they are, we'll be there for them.
We've got some people here with a sign. Maybe you might want to read it.
Yes, it says, "You got Sodom, but we still have Gomorrah." That's a really cool turtle, you know, that fights Godzilla. No, no, no. Is Godzilla good? Yes, but he has...
It's a pun off Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. So does it have homosexual tendencies?
I have no idea.
Check out the pink triangle.
Yeah, pink triangle. Woohoo!
I find it to be an outrage that Governor Romney is using this racist 1913 anti-miscegenation law to fight against gay rights. And I think every other Massachusetts resident should be outraged as well.
And why do you think the governor's doing that?
Maybe his hatred of different people in the state is broader than what than it might seem. So maybe he hates people of color as much as he hates gay people. Makes me wonder whether would he use this, try to apply this law to biracial couples that got married 30 years ago, in violation of that law? Probably not, but I don't know.
Do you think what he's doing might be more politically based because to support the administration or for his own chances in 2008?
Obviously. I mean, everything he does is political. I mean, he was here, a few months ago hosting Bush when Bush came into town to visit. I think he's a traitor to our state.
At first on this issue, I was like, marriage is kind of lame, but then I started doing research, and it's totally just an awesome right to have these approximately 1,300 benefits that you wouldn't receive otherwise, and to validate and legitimate love in any way from the state, no matter how messed up the other stuff it does is a positive step, and it's awesome. And I think it could possibly lead to more acceptance, which is awesome. So.
And where are you from? Are you from here, Cambridge?
I'm from rural Illinois. So.
And do you mind if I ask how old you are?
I'm 20.
And what do you think other 20-year-olds think? Are they sort of with you, or do they think differently?
It depends where I am. At home, I'm really starting to talk to my friends about the homophobia that they have, and I just go along with it and laugh because it's a path of least resistance. But starting to become aware of things, and I'm trying to really critique everything because it's totally important to change things on a small level as well as this institutional level. Because even if the institution changes, there's still going to be problems with people, interracial marriage. Even when that was legitimated by the state, still a year later, people still had problems with it. But that is changing, at least hopefully. And so it takes a while, but I mean this is an important step, and I think it's really awesome.
Do you think 30 years from now we'll be looking back on this as being kind of ridiculous, like interracial marriage being illegal?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the people that stand against it vehemently right now will look back and feel the pressure to change and to move on from stuff that has just been ingrained in them, and can't really blame everyone for having these prejudices because it's just so just ingrained in everything. Education, we're taught that we're not even taught homosexuality is not talked about in school for good or bad, so it's seen as something totally just taboo, and so therefore when it happens it shocks people, and I think this is a good step in normalizing it and saying these are people that these are people that you joke about with that laugh, but maybe maybe it hurts. So I just think just to de-radicalize the notion is radical, and I think it's awesome.
So again, what brings you here tonight?
I think this is a really historic occasion. I remember growing up and hearing about Stonewall in the 60s and the gay rights movement and all the other civil rights movements, and I was dang, I missed that. One more thing that I missed, I wish I was back then to sort of feel that energy, and this is a really big deal. This is happening right now, and I'm really excited about it.
And as far as your experience of tonight goes, have you known any people, any friends, any relatives who are here for licenses tonight?
Several friends, yeah. Yeah, several friends have come down the line. I actually didn't know that my friends were going to be in there tonight, but I think it's exciting that they have been. Yeah.
And your name?
Audrey.
And Audrey, how are you here tonight?
I'm just here to cheer people on.
And were you part of the effort on Beacon Hill? Were you in any of those meetings?
I was out there, yeah. I was rallying and all that, yeah.
And how do you feel about the future now in terms of like 2 years from now when this goes up to the legislature?
I feel pretty optimistic. I think that 2 years is actually a great amount of time to do some grassroots, working and really changing people's minds, a person at a time. And it's kind of exciting to have that kind of time frame. I mean, it would be better if, we weren't having to deal with the potential amendment in the first place, but it might actually be good for the long term because it really forces all of us who do understand why gay marriage is important to go out and really make sure all the people around us understand that too and like feel it inside rather than just as like a political issue or something that they can ignore or not ignore.
Do you have any friends, relatives close to you who are part of the ceremony tonight?
Yeah, I've got some friends in there and I've been waiting for them to come out.
And what brings you here tonight?
I think it's a really historic event. I think it's one of the major civil rights advances that I've seen in my lifetime, right up there with the end of apartheid in South Africa. So I think it's really important to show support for everybody who's done all this work and is taking the brave step to make their love known. Yeah.
Were you at any of the meetings on Beacon Hill?
Quite a few. Yep. Yep.
And what was that like?
It was fantastic, actually. I think the spirit of everybody there was just phenomenal, and the solidarity and the sense of community and really the commitment to social justice that I saw there was profoundly moving.
Tonight is a night long on celebration and short on politics. It is with great pleasure that on behalf of the entire City Council, I welcome you to the City Council chamber for this celebration. It was in this council chamber that the City Council's ordinances were changed and amended. First, to include the prohibition against the discrimination based upon sexual orientation. Likewise, the chamber followed with the council and later on enacted one of the first domestic partnership ordinances in this country. So it is fitting that we come to this chamber tonight to celebrate an historical day in this Commonwealth. It's a day that extends rights and privileges and ends discrimination against gay and lesbians. It's a day that extends the same protections to the children of gay and lesbians as has been afforded the children of others. So it is truly a day to celebrate. It is a day to celebrate the immense commitment that couples make to each other, to take one another in unconditional commitment on good days and in bad, in sickness and in health, for better or worse, for the rest of their lives. It is a day to recognize the union and commitment of oneself to something greater than oneself, which is bound by a little word that in time encompassed such enormity, and that is the word of love. So I welcome you all here tonight, and I congratulate those that are filing their intentions here tonight. At this time, I call upon Reverend Monroe for the invocation.
We're making history. And we're making history because of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered heroes and sheroes who come before us. The old African proverb reminds us, if we stand tall, it is because we stand on the backs of those who came before us. I know of no words eloquent enough to express the deep meaning, the great power, and the unconquerable spirit of those who came before us. We give praise to them for the gifts of their gifts, for their beauty, for their presence. We give praise to them for the strength on which we have leaned on, and for the grace by which we have grown. And we give praise to them for their wisdom that has guided us and for their spirit that now hovers over us. We come here to this place, the Cambridge City Hall, holding on to a vision that will in minutes be a promise fulfilled, to marry lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people. We come and gather at this place as a sign and witness as lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered activists and our allies that our life's work is bent on helping others and it is arched towards justice. And this evening, the work of justice is bent towards the greater freedom, not only for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people, but for all Americans. And when the work of justice is bent towards freedom, it allows us to see along this troubling human timeline the faces and to hear the voices in history of those who are the damned, the disinherited, the disrespected, and the dispossessed. This evening, in this chamber, the arch towards justice is allowing lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people to be a part of a democratic government and a unified plurality by granting us our civil rights to marry. By the state of Massachusetts allowing us to marry, we help We helped, don't forget this, we helped to create a multicultural society where no one is left behind and every voice is lifted up. However, in order to appreciate this historical moment, let us remember that the marriage debate here in the United States did not begin with lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people. The marriage debate began when African American slaves were forbidden to marry, so they jumped over the broom, an African American tradition, in front of their slave masters to consecrate their marriage until the end of the Civil War in 1865. And then a century later, the debate concerning interracial marriages between African Americans and white Americans ended in 1967. The Supreme Court case of Loving versus the state of Virginia declared anti-miscegenation laws unconstitutional. Mildred Loving, a great name for a case such as this, was an African American woman who married a white man in the state of Virginia. All right now, all right. Little did Mildred Loving know that she would become the Rosa Parks of the interracial marriage debate. So today, we stand here on the shoulders of those who come before us because they had the moral courage to right a wrong. As lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people, we are on the eve of freedom. This was the case 50 years ago on May 17, 1954, when the issue of racial segregation in America's public schools was nationally shamed and ruled unconstitutional in the United States court case Brown versus the Board of Education. This evening, as we wait for the clock to strike 12, I am reminded how many Black churches across the country celebrated watch night services, and it can be traced back to December 31st, 1862, also known as Freedom Eve, when African American slaves came together across the nation to await the good news that President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation had finally become law. And on that day, January 1st, 1863, a new day began for us, even as the Civil War continued to go on. While the war on same-sex marriage will continue to be debated in this country, come midnight here in the state of Massachusetts, it will be, as we Black folks say, a great getting up morning for us lesbian, gay, a great getting up morning for us lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people. The traditional heterosexual wedding vows stating, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," will be transformed to the specificities of our unions. You will now hear the justices of the peace say to us, "I now pronounce you wife and wife, or husband and husband, or even spouse and spouse." But my favorite is this: "I now pronounce you married." But my favorite is this: "I now pronounce you married under the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts." Let us say amen. Amen.
It is with great pleasure that I introduce Sue Kranz and the children.
Please sing along with us. This is a call and response song. I've put some new words to an old favorite, Family Under One Sky. Here we go. We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're people and animals and flowers and birds in flight and birds in flight. We're gay and lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, and straight allies too, We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're single and partnered and parents and children too, We're adopted, biological, foster kids, and AI too, We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're from Asia and Africa and Europe and the Americas too, We're from Australia, Antarctica, Cambridge, and we're making news, We are all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. We're all a family under one sky. We're a family under one sky. Woo! This is another song that was made famous by Harry Belafonte, and we'd love to have you join us with hand motions and the words. It's called We Come From the Mountain. Mountain, turn the world around. Oh, same thing, just with fire. We come from the fire. We come from the fire. Go back to the fire. Turn the world around. We come from the fire. Go back to the fire. Turn the world around. We come from the water. We come from the water. Go back to the water. Turn the world around. We come from the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the sky, we come from the sky, go back to the sky, turn the world around. We come from the sky, go back to the sky, turn the world around. Go back to the water, turn the world around. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around.
At this time, it is a pleasure to introduce one of Cambridge's own sons, Arthur Lipkin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And before I begin my remarks, I want to invite you all to come back to this chamber on Saturday, June 12th, for the 14th annual Mayor's Gay Pride Breakfast, co-sponsored by the Cambridge Lavender Alliance. On behalf of the Cambridge Lavender Alliance, I greet you all, elected officials, members of the clergy, members of the choruses, great and small, distinguished speakers, Mary Bonato, my hero, fellow Canterburyans, and guests. I want to applaud Mayor Sullivan, Vice Mayor Decker, their staff, subcommittee chairs, Councilors Murphy and Simmons, and all the city employees who have assisted this effort. You have nurtured this celebration from its fanciful beginnings to this wondrous reality. I want to salute the City Council for their unanimous vote supporting the Supreme Judicial Court's ruling in favor of civil marriage rights for same-sex couples. You, our Cambridge City Council, said at that time that you would permit our marriages as soon as legally possible. Well, I tell you that we are here at this hour shows that you have kept your promise. Hats off to the Cambridge School Committee, too, for their declaration in support of our families. My former student, Committeeman Mark McGovern, gets extra credit for shepherding that motion along. I also want to acknowledge the leadership of our State House delegation, especially the Cambridge residents, Senator Barrios and Representatives Wolf and Toomey. Jarrett, you have been an exemplar of an out, proud, and persuasive legislator. Alice Wolf, for over 20 years, you have been at the forefront of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender rights in our city and our state. And Representative and Councillor Tim Toomey, your unwavering support during the Constitutional Convention demonstrated your constancy and courage. I have never been so proud to be from Cambridge. I have never been so proud to be from Cambridge. I was born at the Cambridge City Hospital to a mother who herself had been born and raised here, class of 1929 at the old Cambridge Latin School. My grandfather, Sam Duchin, had a tailor shop on Western Avenue that later moved to a storefront right across the street from City Hall, right next to the YMCA. My father was born in the West End of Boston and commuted to Cambridge to attend Harvard College during the Depression. As adults, my mother was a sales clerk in Central Square, selling girdles, corsets, and other items. And my father was a pharmacist and later worked in our city's health department. I graduated from the Cambridge Public Schools and from college and graduate school here as well. I taught for 20 years at Cambridge Rindge and Latin and for 7 more years at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. I guess you might say I'm provincial, but what a fabulous place to be a townie. On May 21st, after a 19-and-a-half-year engagement, I will be legally wed to Robert Ellsworth, a native of Revere. Bob's dad was a typesetter at the Boston Herald. The Honorable Representative Alice Wolf, a friend of some 30 years, will marry us in our home. Although Bob and I have never felt ourselves less worthy than any other couple, we cannot deny the pleasure we feel at having our equality and our dignity reflected back to us in the laws, the policies, and the rituals of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. If we have any regret tonight, it is only that our parents did not live to share the joy of this historic moment with us. But we are here, and you are here, and we are blessed and grateful. Thank you for coming.
And now it is great pleasure to welcome the Cambridge Community Chorus.
invite us now to delight us. La 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 la. All things invite us now to delight us. La 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 la. Friends, there be packing, no mirth be lacking. Let's give no treasure to live in pleasure. La 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 la. Be packing, no mirth be lacking. Let's spare no treasure to live in pleasure. La 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 I may not have a lot to give, but I got
Which one's missing? 41 and 50. We're all set there? Now, 41 and 50. You're missing the thing. If the answer is numbers 41 and 50. To my left, your right. What number are you? What about 41?
How long has it been going on tonight?
We
When did it start?
started about 10:15 this evening.
10:15.
Yeah.
And where were the crowds? A lot of people showing up at the beginning, or?
Oh, it's been the whole time. There were, as you can see, lots of people outside. And so all those people are beginning to make their way into the inside here.
And your name?
Harold Cox.
And who are you?
I'm the Chief Public Health Officer for the city.
And what is your role here tonight?
My role is to pass out information. How you doing, fellas?
So you're going to go upstairs? Clear about how the law is going to be working at this point for people who get married. Is this a final thing, or can they expect that there are going to be challenges? Do you have any information on that?
You know, my guess is as good as anybody else's. I should hope that it's going to be final because it's the right thing to do. But you've seen all of the legal challenges that have happened so far, so I certainly can't predict that. What I know is that right now it is the law.
And
tonight, people are just filing for intentions. And then they wait for 3 days and they actually get their license at that time. In some instances, people may be able to get a waiver from a judge, and if they get that waiver, then they can get their license before the 3-day, they get to forget about the 3-day waiting period.
Harold, thank you very much. I know you're very busy, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you.
My name's Kim. Catherine.
Okay, and how long have you known each other?
We've been together almost 16 years now.
And what does this mean to you tonight in terms of the change in the opportunity?
I'm not sure it means much of a change in terms of our personal relationship, but it's an important moment in U.S. history and an historic occasion, and we're really happy to be part of it.
Was it that you always expected this day would come, or was it that you never?
We always hoped it would come. We've wanted to be married for a long time, so it'll be exciting if we really get to be.
Did you participate in the activities that were going on in order to have this whole thing succeed on Beacon Hill?
We didn't. We're from out of state.
Oh, from out of state?
Oh, right, okay. So we're not sure if it's going to work tonight or not. But they told us downstairs that they thought it would.
That's right. That's the word that I'm getting to. That in Cambridge, it's not going to be requiring that
right.
Kind of
yeah, because we don't want to be dishonest in order to get married. So we're just hoping that.
So then you'll be here until how long? You're planning on staying?
We're not sure. Long enough to get married, at least.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So have a great night and all the best to the two of you.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here.
How long were you expecting that this was going to be taking something like this to happen?
Not in our lifetime.
Yeah, we were thinking about the time we retire, which is to say never.
So now, what are you planning the marriage yet, or no?
We've got it all planned out, and it's happening later in the not even a week from now.
Okay. And where was that be happening?
Here in Cambridge.
Okay. And is your family here too?
They will be. They're coming in a couple days.
And your family too?
Yeah, mine too.
Okay. So, how do you feel about the future now of your marriage in terms of any challenges or any threats? Do you feel it's all over now, or that it's just beginning, or what?
It's a process, and it's a conversation, and it's going to be vigorous, and I'm sure there will be bumps in the road, and it'll be a long road.
But, sorry.
That's the political process. As for him and me, I'm sure that we'll have disagreements, but we always make it up.
That's what I was about to ask about, the strength of the relationship carrying you through.
Yeah, after 19 years, I think we pretty much learned how to get through the bad stuff. So.
Anything more you'd like to add?
This is great.
And any thoughts, any plans about children?
His mother's already started in on that, so we'll see what happens.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
She's not marrying herself.
All right.
Very
Are you
good.
from Cambridge?
We're
from Roslindale.
Roslindale. Your name?
Monica.
Melanie.
Melanie. And how long have you been together?
12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
And you always saw this coming?
Not at all.
Never even thought
but
about it.
you got swept up into it, and it's about time. Never really, planned on getting married any time in my life, but here I am because I think it's important for other people coming along, next generation, etc.
Brian Racine and Bob Giannino.
And how long have you known each other?
We've been together for 8.5 years.
And were you expecting this night as soon as it arrived?
Not this particular one. No. Maybe the rights, but not the marriage. Yeah, pretty exciting.
So you're getting the license. We're all waiting for that time tonight, right?
That's right, yeah.
And after that, when are you planning for the marriage?
Tomorrow. We're going to get married tomorrow, hopefully. We're going to apply for a waiver.
How does that work, the waiver?
You have to go before a judge and sort of state why it is that they should grant a waiver, and then they'll decide whether to give one or not. And our understanding is, for the most part, they're going to grant waivers to everybody who asks for them tomorrow.
Something's going on here. I don't know what that is, but on occasion there's been applause, and I don't know where it's coming from or why. But we're enjoying it all anyway, right? Now, were you part of the effort on Beacon Hill?
Not really in an organized way. I mean, I went up and protested on certain days because I work close to there. So, but we did our own little part, writing letters, getting friends to write letters, stuff like that.
Now, how do you feel once the marriage is complete about any threat, any challenge to this coming up from, as far as you know? Is there any need to be concerned?
Well, I mean, certainly there's a need to be concerned. The other side against this is very mobilized, has a lot of resources. It's still, if any polls you look at, it's still pretty split down the middle. But we kind of feel like that over the next couple of years, the general public will see that there's no harm done to, heterosexual marriage in any way by giving us the same rights. And in fact, they'll see that, we're going to fit in just like everybody else. We're going to have mortgages. We're going to have bills to pay. We're going to have families to raise. So really no different.
Now, as far as the family, we're talking about family. Do you have any thoughts about that yet, or no?
Well, this is my ex-wife, and we have a 10-year-old son together. So we have a family that operates. There are 5 of us, her new husband, the 2 of us, and our son. So I think that'll be the only child involved.
Child.
Oh, it's wonderful. The 5 of us work together as a family very well. We share all the responsibilities. We share all the major decision making. He's grown up this way. He feels he's got 3 dads and a mom. I'm grossly outnumbered. I would love to have someone move in that's a girl. But other than that, it works wonderful. It's the best thing you could ever hope for a child.
Now, people are wondering about the effect that this kind of family has on children and their peers at school. So what has been your experience with your son and his experience with his peers at school?
He's very matter-of-fact about everything. He doesn't apologize for it. He's not embarrassed by it. He lets everybody know he has 3 fathers, and when people argue with him and say you can, he's very straightforward that yes, you can. 2 of them are gay, and the other one lives with his mom, and that's just the way it is. And when he was little, one time he told me he felt bad for some of his classmates because they only have 1 mom and 1 dad. He doesn't know how they could get along.
So, do you share the same household or no?
No, we don't live together, but we live fairly close to each other. We spend a lot of time together. We try to spend time together every week as a family. We go on vacations together sometimes, and we spend a lot of time together.
It's been really wonderful and very, very different for the viewers, for all of us, to be able to witness something so fantastic. Have you plans already for the marriage?
Yes.
Okay, and how soon are you planning for the marriage?
Next Sunday, the 23rd.
And what kind of setting? Just a private, in the church or a private?
We're getting married at the Langham Hotel at Post Office Square. And it's just a small group of close family and friends, about 30 people.
And how is, through the years, your experience with the family and the community at large? What's your experience been like?
Very positive.
Our family has been very supportive.
And now, in terms of the time up ahead now for your marriage, how do you feel about the challenges or the changes, the effort to resist around in the community?
Well, it's a new beginning, and hopefully the rest of the United States will follow our lead, and everyone else that wants to get married will be able to get married.
Here's go for you tonight.
Oh, it was very smooth, very respectful, we got a lot of applause. Everyone should be able to walk up the steps and get that kind of applause. It was really beautiful.
And your name?
Carol Bull.
And your name?
Molly Mead,
And Molly, how long have you known each other?
25 years.
And I guess you were not sure about tonight happening as soon as it did, were you?
I think it's tremendous that this has happened, and I think it's tremendous of Cambridge to do this.
And now about the marriage, when does that happen?
We're not sure yet. We're going to plan it soon, and we don't want to have to have our blood tests over again. So we're going to have a ceremony, but we're going to plan it very soon.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, any plans for little ones?
Well, we have 2 children. They're 15 and 18, and so they'll probably be part of the ceremony when we have it. Yeah.
Now, what has been your experience through the years with the community in general and with close family and friends, and also your children's experience with students in their school setting?
Yeah, we've had some problems over the years in the Cambridge Public Schools around harassment of our children, but luckily we took a very proactive approach when that happened. We went to the school and the principal was very supportive, and we gave a forum for the teachers of how to be welcoming and things like that. So we've been even though there has been the negative side of pain caused to our children, a lot of good came of it, and they learned about how to speak up when things are not going well.
And in terms of family and friends and support community of gay and lesbian people around you, what's that been like for you?
Our family is very supportive, really has been supportive for years. We have lots of friends. We've got gay and lesbian friends. We've got straight friends. They're all very welcoming, very supportive. It's terrific.
Great. Wonderful talking to you, and I'm glad the viewers are watching people like you tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
What's it like for you tonight?
No, this is great. We actually got married in front of our friends and family last October, so tonight we're just making the legal one. But we've already been married now for almost a year. We've been together for 5 years.
How's the change in terms of your marriage going to be now that there's been a change in the law? How does that affect your marriage?
I don't think that it will. I mean, I think that we'll operate under the same conditions that we always have. But
I think it gives it some nice legitimacy, perhaps. Not for the two of us, but to the external world.
Yes. And so you're here, you got your license tonight?
Yes.
Okay. And now you're going to planning another marriage ceremony too?
Not a big ceremony, just the two of us this time.
Fantastic. And any thoughts about children?
definitely, it's in our future.
And how long have you known each other?
We've known each other about 12 years.
Well, we've been together 12 years, I hope so.
Yeah.
So now you've got just got your license?
Yes, we did. Well, we applied for it. We didn't
Right.
get our license yet.
Right.
Okay, so now you're waiting here tonight to get it? Or
No, go home. We have our license. We did the thing we're supposed to do. We're going to go home, and tomorrow morning we'll meet with the Justice of the Peace, and we'll get married.
Oh, tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, I thought you had to wait 3 days.
Well, we got the waiver thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Good. So any plans for children yet?
Oh, we have two.
I get that every time I ask. I have 2, we have 3, you know.
Right.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So what's your feeling now that we have 2 more years waiting for the legislature and the response of the community to an experience like tonight?
Right. I think the community's going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I really do. And I'm not thinking about 2 years from now. I'm thinking about, like, tomorrow. Right. It's going to be
Fantastic. What were you expecting that a night like this would take to happen?
I never dreamed of a night like this, really. Until very recently, I thought it was not going to be possible. But I'm really grateful that here we are.
So when is the marriage planned for?
Well, we're going to do a very simple civil ceremony sometime within the next couple of months. And then next year, we're going to have a more elaborate church ceremony with our community, which is Dignity Boston.
And all along, has your experience of the community around you, how has that been? Has it been difficult? Has it been supportive?
Oh, I think it's a mix. I mean, there's lots of supportive people out there, but it's a mix, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think among our closest friends and our families, it's been very supportive. But we've, like a lot of gay and lesbian couples, been very busy in this whole movement. So we've encountered a whole range of responses and attitudes.
I've been trying to find out from the people I talked with tonight what the experience has been, if any, of participating in the effort on Beacon Hill.
Well, both of us were up there during the Constitutional Conventions. We were outside, part of the protest outside. Ron was inside at one point listening to the proceedings. So it was a pretty exciting experience just being part of that. Being here tonight is even more exciting. This is making history.
How do you feel about the political climate, the political support on Beacon Hill in terms of the future that you're facing?
Well, I think this is an important day because once gay marriage start happening in Massachusetts, then people will see that this is nothing that's threatening. I mean, this is just acknowledgments of love, and I think once people see that gay marriages can happen and the beauty of gay marriage, I think that popular support will be on our side.
Are you a part of what am I looking for here? Not a formal group, but a community of people, of gay and lesbian friends and families that you can relate to and that relate to you as a community, not as an organized group, but as a community.
Yeah, we have lots of gay and lesbian friends. Some of them are single, many of them are couples. Some of them have children. Right in our street, we have neighbors, gay and lesbian neighbors, families with children. So I think we have a pretty wide circle of gay and lesbian friends, and we've all supported each other through all of this, I think. And I think that that's what's helped us a lot, knowing that we're in this together. And we also have a lot of straight friends, too, who've been really supportive, co-workers, neighbors, friends, who've really been behind us in this. And it's been wonderful to have that support.
You talk about plans for an even bigger wedding ceremony in the church in time to come. The church you're referring to, what's your experience has been of that church and that congregation and the feeling in the congregation? And what church is it?
Well, we're both Roman Catholics, so obviously the Catholic Church isn't going to bless our marriage. But we belong to an organization of gay and lesbian Catholics. It's called Dignity Boston. And it's in that community that will bless our union sometime next year. We've both been active in this community for a long, long time.
Now, you seem to be from another part of the world, your family, your ethnicity. Where is that?
My grandparents were from the Philippines.
And do you have relatives and family still there too?
Most of my family's in Hawaii and on the West Coast, but I don't really have any family in the Philippines anymore.
Now, what about your family's response to your sexual preference? Has that been a source of difficulty, or has it been a source of coming together and understanding?
My family's been very supportive. I mean, John and I have been to functions of both of our families. We've been to family weddings and on both sides of the family, and both of our families have accepted both of us, and so we look forward to having them celebrate our marriage next year.
Thank you so very much, and I wish both of you the very, very best. Your sense of the Cambridge community's response to the experience of tonight.
I think this is a diverse community, and it's one that prides itself on diversity, and part of that diversity is based upon sexual orientation, and so therefore I think it's a welcoming community. There are those that will have some difficult times with this and are working through it, but in the most part I think the response has been positive about what's going on. I mean, some may be concerned that we opened up our doors early, but that's about the equity aspect of this, and so it's a welcoming community.
Thank you very much, especially for that emphasis put upon celebration tonight, and then in terms of the issues in the politics, let that come later, but tonight is the night for celebration.
And CCTV likes to celebrate, so I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. To thank you and to express how inspired I felt watching you in the nights of the efforts on Beacon Hill, representing with such grace and dignity and strength, and speaking the truth in such a very clear way, in such an emotional setting. And I'd like a couple of words from you as to what that brings back to memory and what it was like for you, that struggle. Where are we and where are we going?
Well, thank you. Well, this day has not come suddenly. It's been culmination of many years of work by many, many, many people around civil rights, around expanding domestic partners, and around making sure that we move to equality for everyone. So it's been a very exciting night.
What is the sense that you have of the strength and the support on Beacon Hill in terms of the direction we move in? And also, what does tonight feel like in terms of the community's response in the 2 years to come?
Well, the community in Cambridge is very clear about where they are. I think with regard to Beacon Hill, we're going to keep moving forward and working to see that this decision of the Supreme Court is continued.
Alice, I don't want to tax you anymore because it's been a long evening, so thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to more of your fantastic service on Beacon Hill.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to say that many, many people have worked over a very long time to come to this day, and we're going to make sure that this day of rejoicing is the first day, not the last day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night. So what is your feeling about the whole experience of taking place here in Cambridge tonight?
it almost reminds me of the words of Martin Luther King, free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Well, I'm free at last to marry the woman that I'm in love with. And that's really an opportunity that has been long, long overdue.
And your name?
Maddie Hayes.
Maddie, and how long have you known each other?
Well, actually, we've known each other over 20-something years. We went to graduate school together. What's now Cambridge College was then Antioch. But in terms of how long we've been together as a couple, it's been 2 years.
And did you feel like this day was going to be coming so soon?
Actually, before November 17th, no. Then after November 17th, we worried, was it going to come because was the state, the House or the Senate going to overturn it or come up with something outrageous that was going to stop it dead in its tracks? Which, when they weren't able to do that, then we really felt like we have really arrived.
So when are you planning the marriage?
Well, we've not set a date yet. One of the things that we were waiting for, my one and only brother was over in Afghanistan, and he just got home, as a matter of fact, a week today. So now we can talk more seriously about planning a date and moving forward with spending the rest of our lives together.
And are you talking about children?
We have children.
We have children.
How?
You want some of them?
How many?
6.
6 children. Wow, that's.
Children, 3 little girls.
Wow, fantastic. Any grandchildren?
Those are the grandchildren.
Those are the grandchildren.
3 grandchildren, 3 adult grown children.
Fantastic.
We raise them, so they're like our own.
Now, your sense of the response generally of the Cambridge community.
Well, I think the Cambridge community in general has been supportive and been responsive.
Very, very encouraging to hear that. Very glad to hear that. And in terms of the marriage and the future with challengers, do you feel concerned, anxious? How do you see the story continuing to unfold now?
All of that, but we're just beginning to write the story. I mean, we had this big day of celebration, but the stories are still yet to be told. I mean, I was downstairs and there was these 2 gentlemen that had been together for 46 years. That's a story yet to be told. Some very good friends that are sitting out there waiting for their number to be called, been together 30 years. Stories, well, just waiting to be told. So this is an opportunity for us not only to make our lives and validate our lives legally, but to tell our stories. So there is some trepidation, and yes, we do worry about it, but right now, today, we're going to celebrate.
Now, how do you find the experience has been for the children in school with peers?
Well, Cambridge in particular is very welcoming. We have Emmy Howe, who does the Welcoming Schools program. So our schools, by and large, are very gay friendly. So my kids go to school and they talk about families, and they're very comfortable, at least as far as I know. I think they're very comfortable talking about the kind of family that they live in, and without too many reprisals. Now, am I going to say there's not bullying and there's not some name calling in general? Yes, there is. But I think we're a lot further along than a lot of other cities and towns in that respect, yes.
And as far as the relationship between Cambridge and Beacon Hill, as a person who sits on the city council, how do you see that developing? Because you actually have people in the council, Tim Toomey on Beacon Hill and Alice Wolf on Beacon Hill. So how do you see that moving along?
The Cambridge delegation has always been very supportive. They've always been there. They've, right from the very beginning, unwavering in their support of gay marriages. There's a few other people that we need to work on. So the battle is over, but the war is yet to be won.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, as far as the schools are concerned, has there been much of any program to provide the children and the parents and the community in general with education about gay and lesbian marriage and gay and lesbian lifestyles and gay and lesbian parenting and what it is to be in school and be the children of gay and lesbian parents?
Absolutely. We think that's very important. We educate all children, and there's a certain definite need to make sure that everyone understands the different lifestyles that exist. And so we work very hard at that. In fact, have someone on staff who works specifically in those particular areas.
And what has been your experience now in Cambridge as far as the climate, the atmosphere around students and the schools towards children of gay and lesbian parents?
Well, it's better than it was. We still have some work to do. We still have more children to inform, and we still have to work to make sure that children are not discriminated against either for family circumstances or their own personal circumstances. So.
And what brings you here tonight? How are you involved and what led you to be a part of this whole experience?
Well, I'm just a volunteer, and I thought it'd be great to help the community. I've been married for 28 years myself, and I think marriage is a great institution, and thought I could be part of other people's marriage as well, and I thought it'd be a great way to volunteer my time.
Have you been part of this community for a long time, or you're just now arriving here?
Came just in August, and really think a lot of things in Cambridge are just terrific. I think it's a great place, so much diversity, so many different ways of going about things, so many different lifestyles. I think it's a great place.
Now tell me, if you were just arriving in August, then how much were you able to learn, to glean about the whole effort on Beacon Hill, and what is your impression tonight as to where things stand on Beacon Hill?
Well, things stand on Beacon Hill probably about the same way they were when I grew up in Massachusetts. I don't think it's changed a whole lot since then. There seems to be false starts and some progress, and then a step back, and then some more progress and some more false starts. So I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference. There are a lot of thoughtful people there, but it's a very difficult state to maneuver politics through.
I've been finding from the people I've spoken with tonight a lot of very positive feelings about having 2 years now for the community of Massachusetts to watch and learn about successful gay and lesbian relationships towards that day in 2 years from now when it comes back for question. What's your sense about what's up ahead?
Well, I'm glad that the state Supreme Court made the ruling that it did. And quite honestly, I'm opposed to having it come up for election. I think that really it's a person's right, and I don't think anyone's right should be put on trial like that or put up to the voters. I think they have the right, and it should be so granted.
Thank you so much, and welcome to Cambridge, and I wish you great, great, great success in the public school system. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get a little band.
They look all plain, but they might have things to say.
Who, these people?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Are any of you for the First Amendment? Hi. Who's standing behind this sign? It says First Amendment area. Is there anyone who actually upholds the First Amendment that wants to speak?
I know it's difficult to believe, but it's true.
Guess not.
How's this guy? Hi, this is Steve from CCTV. We're from a local cable station, and we're curious why you're here and what your thoughts are.
We're here because we need to deliver an uncompromising, unambiguous, plain message from the Lord our God. It's a faithful message to the scriptures that there is a God and there is a day of judgment, and it's not okay to be gay, and these people are going to hell, and there's not one thing they can do about it. Hey dummy, have you not read that from the beginning he created them male and female, and for this cause a man should leave his father and his mother? This is the ultimate smashed mouth insult to the Lord your God, and the wrath of God abides upon this country, and there's no turning back. It's too late. You want to know how it impacts me? My job is to deliver this message. I am going to warn you. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. That means it says, you don't have to wonder what it means to love your neighbor as yourself, because it tells you in Leviticus 19 where it first comes up. You warn your neighbor that his sins are taking him to hell, and if you don't do that, you hate your neighbor in your heart. I'm going to have to give an account to the Lord my God for what I did when I walked on this earth. And I am not going to be slack concerning this matter of warning my neighbor that his sins are taking him to hell.
Can you hear me okay? All right, we're here with CCTV, and we're here with somebody from the other side. We're across the street from City Hall. We've got this young man over here. What's your name?
I'm Josh Phelps Roper.
You said Josh?
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, could you tell me what you think about all this?
Do I think about it? I think that I really don't care. As long as they get the message that that piece of paper isn't going to get them to heaven, that their lifestyle is going to send them to hell, regardless of what church lies to them or what their government issues them. Hell waits.
Are you coming from a religious point of view then?
Yeah.
What's your religion?
I'm an old school Baptist guy.
Are you from Cambridge?
No, I'm from Topeka, Kansas.
And what brought you to Cambridge?
The first legalized gay marriage in the United States.
Oh, really? So tell me about these signs, though. Could you explain to me the reason that you made these signs?
They're just a way to get my message across. Why this particular one? Because this is what God has said about this issue. This is God's judgment on this issue. And if no one else is going to display it, I am.
And did you come here alone tonight, or were you with other people?
I'm actually with these 4 other individuals along here.
Do you represent yourself? Are you from a particular group?
The Westboro Baptist Church.
Where's that located?
Topeka, Kansas.
Oh, okay. You came all the way from Kansas.
Yeah, I came all the way from Kansas.
And tell me, what would happen if they legalized gay marriages in Kansas? What would happen?
I'd probably pick it in Kansas just like I do now. Nothing would happen.
But you wouldn't be compelled to move?
No.
So you try to fight them?
I wouldn't even necessarily try to fight them. I wouldn't change this if I could. This is just one more step in this nation's path to hell.
So I guess you won't be moving to Cambridge?
No, I won't be moving to Cambridge.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Tell people that it's not okay to be gay. It's not okay for a man to marry a man or a woman to marry a woman. And that someone has got to stand up and say this.
Could you please tell me why this is so?
Because God Almighty gave us the example of marriage. He said, have you not read that in the beginning God made them male and female, and for this cause shall the man leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife, that they twain shall be one flesh. That's very exclusive. That's a man and a woman. It doesn't talk about 2 men cleaving to one another or 2 women cleaving to one another. It talks about a man and a woman. That is the only justifiable sexual contact between a man and his wife.
Okay. Do you know any homosexual couples personally?
I'm sure I've met them. People get in our face all the time for doing this. But it doesn't matter to me whether or not I know them anyway, because the bottom line is God said it's wrong, and that we're going to be out here to tell you it's wrong, because someone's got to do it.
And speaking of God, could you explain the Thank God for September 11th sign?
God Almighty controls everything that happens on this earth. September 11th was a warning to this nation to stop embracing sin. This nation didn't heed that warning at all. A week to the day after September 11th happened, Bush put Michael Guest, an open out-of-the-closet fag, in as ambassador to Romania, a country where it's not accepted to be a fag. Not only that, during the ceremony where he was being created the ambassador, Colin Powell recognized his partner as his wife. He recognized another man as his wife. That's the epitome of this nation. That's what's important anymore, is to embrace that sin and call it healthy and good. It's neither. It's an abomination. A fag marriage is a passport to hell.
And would you say that every disaster, though, would be a punishment for such sins?
Sure it is, because it's by God's hands. If he didn't want it to happen, it wouldn't happen. Everything is by his control.
By his control?
Absolutely it is. And it's one sign, because it's a sign that this world is getting closer to meeting its maker. Absolutely, the Lord will return. And this is what's bringing it. This is total embrace of sin.
And make God come back. But world wars, famine, hunger, all that had nothing to do with it.
When were any nations destroyed for famine or hunger? Absolutely, I'm with the God. Have you ever heard of Sodom and Gomorrah? They were destroyed for the sin of not only being fags, but embracing that fagdom. They were destroyed for that. No other sin has caused a nation to be destroyed in the history of the earth.
So do you think then that there are going to be more disasters and punishments because of what's happening now?
Absolutely I do. There's only more to come, and it's only going to get worse.
So here with CCTV again, and a guy here is holding a sign that says moo, and I'm not sure what this means. Is this some type of anti-interspecies relationship sign, or what does this mean?
Nope, it's just a cow. Just a mooing cow.
So you're just trying to be funny?
This isn't that funny, I don't think. It's just cows moo normally, right? So it's a cow. And he goes moo.
Have you ever wondered who makes the shows on Cambridge Community Television and how? Well, I'm going to take some time today and tell you. The people who live in Cambridge who make these shows, and they use our stuff to do it. So if you're a Cambridge resident, you can make a show about anything you want. In order to use this stuff, you need to become a member and take some classes. Once you're trained, you can open a production contract. We have a fleet of mini DV cameras, including the Sony VX1000, 2000, and a handful of Canon palm quarters, all recording on mini DV tape. These can be signed out of our station overnight, as well as tripods, microphones, and lights. When you're done with your show, bring your tape back to us and we'll put it on TV for all of Cambridge to see. You can also take copies of your tape to other cities and have them aired on their channels as well. If you want to make your own show, you won't get anything done just sitting there. It takes time and hard work, but where else can you get your message on TV for free? You'll have to drop in and check us out.
Time to lay down serious Time to lay down serious
You expect me to play this, man? What? It's heavy. What?